And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. The athletes, you may have your seat now. And once again, I will hand the microphone back to Lieutenant General Retired Jackson Tuwei, the President of Athletics Kenya, to invite the chief speaker today.
So, thank you very much. As I said earlier on, if you want more details, if you want to clarify certain things and so forth, we are ready for that. And even immediately after this, if you want to do it quietly. But first of all, you will receive the calendar. Each one of you will receive a calendar as we have presented here. Otherwise, we'll be asking all of you and all the Kenyans to support our team. And please, as I keep on saying every now and then, let us not put our athletes under pressure. Let us encourage our athletes to do well, as opposed to putting them under pressure. There's a lot of pressure sometimes, and and sometimes they are so much under pressure. And you see even these social media issues, it can put somebody under pressure so much that people go through sleepless nights. And if an athlete does not sleep well, there is no chance that they will do well on the track or in the field. So please, let us stop pressurizing our athletes. Let us encourage them. Let us encourage them so that they can do well. Everybody, you know, they already have their own pressure. You saw the numbers of 40 or 36. For you to get number one and bring a gold medal is not as easy as we think. It is not easy. Because you have got everybody, the best in the world, the best in the world. And if you want our athletes to do well, please, let us encourage them. And let us not put them under pressure. Thank you very much. Let me now have this pleasure to invite the PS to come and give his remarks, and then we can continue from there. But PS, please.
Thank you very much, General.
Thank you.
The General, the President, is it working? Did you switch off when you are leaving? Okay. That was on a light note. Good morning, everybody. You know, I want to ride on the protocols that had earlier been established. In the interest of time, I'm being expected to go to another meeting for PSS that is at Bomas of Kenya. And that is why you realize that I was a bit fidgety when I was seated over there. But first and foremost, let me take this opportunity to say thank you to AK for our job well done. We've had a lot of discussions with you on the previous calendar of events that you've always undertaken. And I know AK is a very organized federation. This meeting was supposed to have been graced by the CS, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, this morning. And that is why you realize there was a quick switch of the persons to preside over. And that is why I was supposed to be elsewhere. But now, because of the exigencies of duty, he's not able to be here with us this morning. And he has requested that I bring his greetings, also bring his good wishes as we begin this calendar of events for the Athletics Kenya. And he has sent me with this message that he was supposed to have given to you. So kindly allow me to read through it before I give my closing remarks, as then we conclude this meeting. So I have a message from, or remarks by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports during the launch of the Athletics Kenya 2024-25 calendar of events held on the 2nd of October 2024 at this great hotel, Weston. He starts by, and I read, recognizing the presence of all of you, including the President, Honorable Jackson, Colonel General Retired Jackson Tuwei, the event organizers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me take this opportunity to express my appreciation to Athletics Kenya for inviting me and for the efforts put towards this event. Athletics Kenya has played a very important role in the development of athletics in our country. Through the years, this organization has nurtured and developed elite athletes who have excelled on the global stage. The likes of Samuel Wanjiru, Kipchoge Keino, Catherine Dereva, and I've seen Catherine Dereva, is she around? Oh yes. Patrick Macau, Mary Moraa, Eliud Kipchoge, David Rudisha, Paul Tergat, Helen Obiri, Faith Kipyegon, Vivian Cheruyot, to name but a few that come to mind. All this is largely due to the continued hard work of Athletics Kenya, and this year's success in Paris Olympics is a great testimony to your incredible work, where Kenya was ranked 17th globally and 17th globally and first in Africa. The 2024-2025 calendar done by Kenya Athletics has consistently been undertaking and has consistently been working towards grassroots, national, regional, and global levels. This is commendable, and congratulations on putting together a detailed calendar for this season, 2024-2025. I have seen what you have planned for. For instance, you've planned for the cross-country events, the track and field events, marathons, mountain running events, among others, as was exemplified by the President. And he says, kudos for a job well done. Athletics have also played a key role in pulling tourists to our country. Iten, for instance, can easily be termed as the capital of athletics training in Africa. It is no wonder that the town has been named a World Athletics Heritage Site, I think by UNESCO. And I think kudos again for Athletics Kenya for having necessitated that. We have also had a chance to stage World Athletics, that is the Under-18, World Athletics Under-20, and the continuing World Athletics Continental Tour events. The Kipkeino Classic in Nairobi and the Sirikwa Cross Country Tour in Eldoret. And like you've explained, there is also Chepsaita that has gone to the gold. But more investment also is needed to develop both talent and facilities. That is what the CS recognizes. Corporates and international organizations can partner with Athletics Kenya and others to see the required growth. It is pleasing to see the UNEP and Stockholm Environment Institute have made collaborative efforts on climate action. Nike has consistently been with Athletics Kenya, supporting them with apparel and other needs for their success. We need to do more to attract more sponsors for our athletes to achieve their highest potential. Gender-based violence and other welfare issues. Gender-based violence has increasingly reared its ugly head in our sports, especially in athletics, and I urge you to work with us to stamp out this menace. As you are aware, we have established a gender response unit in my office to promote gender response policies and programs within the sports ecosystem. Federations are our allies in this endeavor. Please rise to the occasion. While I congratulate you on your consistent launch of calendar of events over the years and for your good work in developing our athletes, I must now challenge you to lead and show the way on elections. I challenge you to come up with a roadmap for your polls. For any organization's continuous improvement, auditing performance is key. Reports for Under-20 World Championships and Paris Olympics are therefore critical in helping us prepare better for the future tournaments. We must expand our sports portfolio to increase our global competition, participation, and solidify our reputation as a sports powerhouse. We are currently punching far below our weight, and I agree with him. The 6 disciplines that we took to Paris on are below what we are capable of. The theme for the 2024-2025 calendar, which reads Road to Tokyo for World Athletics Championships, that shall be held on 13th to 21st of September 2025 in Tokyo, Japan. I now call upon all athletes and coaches to keep their eyes on the ball, be steadfast and relentless in their journey of greatness. In his closing, he says, once again, I thank you, AK, for your good job, and all athletes, coaches, and stakeholders for your continued support. Thank you very much, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. But as I conclude this launch of the calendar of events, I would wish first and foremost to thank those of you who've been able to come this morning. And let me recognize the presence of the athletes that are here by having them to stand, please. You can now have your seat. You know, when we were being given the skit, or I don't know what to call it, you know, in other countries, you hear this like a fairy tale. So-and-so ran and won a gold medal. So-and-so did that in Tokyo. So-and-so did this in, I don't know, Diamond League and that kind of thing. But as Kenyans, we are very much privileged. When you talk about the person who won the javelin competition, he is here, right? The man that can split and run like lightning, he is seated with us here. And the many of you. But sometimes I ask myself, do we have special occasions when we have to sit with these people and recognize them? And the answer is yes. When we came from Paris the other day, it took His Excellency the President to welcome all these athletes in Eldoret. And I remember he said one thing, that I'm emotional when I see you young Kenyans seated here having won gold and other medals in the Olympics. Wasn't that a very good moment for all of you? And I want to urge ourselves, the ministry, the sponsors that are seated here, and everybody else to emulate that gesture. Let's have specific times as Kenyans in all walks of life to be able to recognize these legends of ours. Because if for nothing, they have done us proud as a country. When you see a Kenyan flag being hoisted severally in a foreign country, isn't that pride? Courtesy of their preparations being prepared by Athletics Kenya and the rest of you, the sponsors. And when we sit here today then and plan for the calendar of activities, we should be very proud of ourselves. Let me also take this opportunity to recognize Athletics Kenya officials seated here. Please stand. This team has done a wonderful job. Please clap for them. You may say all sorts of things about them, but they are the ones who have single-handedly brought the pride that we are talking about in this country through the athletes, elite athletes that are here. Please, you may be seated. Because there is no success in a place where people are not organized, right? But I want to add a rider, like the CS has said. Please ensure governance issues are sorted one way or another. That is the only thing that you need to tweak for us to be able to say you are 100% organized. And in elections, we usually say the best are those that are picked. These are not so. Right? So you can go in, you undertake elections, and the registrar of sports. You know, in my other life, I was in labor, so I used to have somebody called registrar of trade units in my office. The registrar is there. So let's organize ourselves. You can chew gum as you scale the stairs, right? Just like the CS has guided, and I think we have had this conversation with the leadership of Athletics Kenya. They are planning to do that. Let me also recognize my office. Those that have worked with this team this far, please stand. The CEOs, the registrar, and everybody else. Clap for this. I have the CEO Adak here. Put up your hand. Yeah, she's smiling, but she's very tough. On athletes that do not want to practice clean athletics. We have the CEO Sports Fund, Mr. Nu. Please, those I've introduced can sit. Karibuni sana. We have the CEO in charge of the infrastructure, what you are talking about, Banameto. We have the CEO who does the nurturing of talent herself, Dr. Doreen. Please have a seat. We have the registrar of sports herself, who organizes that ecosystem. We have the representative of the director of sports. She's there. And the person in charge of finance in the sports fund, the young man standing there. So when you see this group seated here, accompanying the PS or the CS, I thought there were other people who were here, but anyway, you'll introduce yourselves later when you're taking a cup of tea. It means that the collaboration between the federations, the government, and the private sector is glued together and is working. And that is why we are able to sit here without the government bringing in anything at this particular moment, because partners are saying, no, that one will do it. No, that one will deal with it. Let me also recognize the partners, the sponsors that are here with us. Do we have any in the house? I saw the gentleman from the CEO Tourism Fund. Please stand. I was told that this is he is the reason we are seated here today, happy, because he made sure that we got some breakfast this morning, and he hired the whole. Clap for him. And then we have now the sponsor. Oh, you are from Amaco Insurance. I want now everyone who is partnering in terms of sponsorship to stand. I saw Amaco. There was Betika around. There was, who else? Yes. You don't have to hide, my friend, because you are doing a great job. Yeah, so clap for this group. They are the reason these people can be able to come this far. Please have a seat. I think it was Betika, it was Amaco, it was Nyanza Vibes. Anybody else I forgot? KCB are supposed to be here. National Bank, yeah? National Bank, yes. And Cooperative Bank, yeah. CAS Media is also here, correct? Sidian Bank, all of them. Please, we cherish you. As I conclude, let me speak to this partnership, because at the end of the day, I will be clapping for myself and the CEO Sports Fund, because we are the biggest sponsor as a government. But we are not doing that just because we are the ones. We are doing that because it is something we must do. When we talk about bottom-up approach to issues in this country, this is what we are doing as government by nurturing the talent at grassroots level. And that is why we seek for partnerships. Every now and then we call you to come and help to see how we can nurture, identify, and probably at the end of the day, hope that we will monetize the talents to these young people. The reason we are called the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy, and Sports is just for that reason. That we must, as a government, in collaboration with all of you, ensure that we have looked for that talent that exists within the precincts of this country. And then we work out ways and means of developing it, which we basically call nurturing. And then at the end of the day, try to monetize. When we left Eldoret, after having been spoken to by His Excellency the President, I remember he promised and said, we are going to pay every participant that went to France, Kenya shillings 200,000. That was a commitment, and my ministry took over, and we've paid. Those of you who have not received that money, I think it is being organized by Sports Fund, and you'll be able to be given the 33 million that the President committed. So what else do you want? So if I was a corporate individual or person seated here, the first thing I would be looking into is how I should append myself, if for nothing else, for purposes of just social responsibility, with this group called AK and the other federations. We have, yeah, I think you should clap louder. Because it makes economic sense, it makes social sense, it makes even the spiritual sense. Yeah. You feel good when you see someone like Rudisha and this gentleman, Omanyala, you know, running and winning for Kenya. Right? Those of you who are able, please buy a ticket and go to Tokyo. And you'll feel what Kenyans feel when they go there. Kenyans in the diaspora usually come in large numbers. And if you cannot afford and you have that spirit, look for the corporates. Wakufanyia rambe uende, so that you can feel what others feel. It's a moment to be proud of. So let me urge you to do the following. Number one is that for the federations, please organize to have a conversation with corporates. The difference between, or how do I put it? The thing that is lacking between you and being helped by the corporates is a conversation that makes sense. The leadership must then speak to one another. And the glue that will be able to hold you, the two of you, the corporates and the federations, is the government. By just authenticating those federations, that they have been registered, they are doing very well, the records are good, and therefore you can partner with them, right? So I think the take home from this meeting, therefore, and this is exactly what the CS told me, is that federations should begin to hold conversations with the corporates. And on the flip side of it, the government is now focused to have a conversation with corporates to run the infrastructure that we are putting up as government so that they make economic sense. There's no need for us to do a structure in Jamhuri, a 60,000 stadium with skyboxes and everything, and then leave it to be run again by government. And yet there are those corporates that can do branding. They can be able to make money out of it. And even if it were for nothing else, undertake maintenance of the same. So that is a conversation that my CS has started, and that is the route we are going. And lastly, as we kick off this calendar of events we launched today, on behalf of government, let me take this opportunity to wish all athletes the best in their endeavor to make it to Tokyo next year. With those very many remarks, let me stop there and say, may God bless you. Thank you so much.
All right, as the PS waits here, I will ask the sponsors, whom, by the way, he made the work easier. Thanks, man. Good working with you. By asking you to stand up. So those who stood up, those sponsor representatives, please come up front so we can take one picture with the PS.
You can remove this.
Yes. As they come up, I'd like to recognize some people who are here, guests who are coming through from the Kenya Academy of Sports. The CEO, Yahoo Sports Fund, Lou Ibrahim is here, CAS Group CEO is here. We're live on CAS TV. Julius Lamaibun, Lieutenant General retired, Daniel Okwande is here. Asante sana for joining us. Wanda is, of course, trustee of AK. Another trustee is here. Ole Kanai is also here. I'd like to recognize and acknowledge from Moja, the expressway, where we had the Nairobi City Express Marathon just last month. Jean May and Anthony Katuru, NTSA, Andrew Kiplagat representing them, KWS represented by Bernard Toler, KQ, Lucy Y, and AIU Rafael Rox, among some of the people who are here. Once the pictures are taken, just the athletes join the sponsors and the PS, so we can quickly ask the athletes to join. You can relax, I won't be calling the cameraman. This is just the athletes and the sponsors. Later on, the athletes will be around, so you can ask for personal pictures, which you can share. What a time to be alive, the road to Tokyo. It's a matatu, as the senior vice president pointed out. Some of us will walk there, some of us will jog there, some of us will run there, some of us will sprint there. I hear Julius Diego is already there, so he clearly caught a flight there. regardless, by 2025, we want to be in Tokyo, not just to participate, but to actually win and make a statement. Thank you very much for the pictures. All right. Okay, Korea has asked that the coaches come in. Coaches, please come up with the PS, take a quick picture with the PS. I'm trying to save on time because we heard he needs to go. And we can wrap up. All right, with the coaches taking, these are also the people who have played quite a big part in ensuring that we are not just constantly there in these competitions, but actually quite dominant as well. Once again, executive chairman, kindly join the PS. If we could rush a bit, considering we are trying to save time for the PS's sake. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, athletes. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you to the executive chairman. And after them, we will be asking for the ministry staff to come up here for the photo op.
Very important. Yes.
Thank you very much. Ministry staff, could you kindly come up? I'm especially keeping an eye on the sports fund boss, the money man. Look for him on the side. I will ask the High Commission of Uganda to join. All right, there we go. And let's take that picture. 1 second. Let's go. Take that picture. And then I will call for the trustees after this. And finally, the trustees. Lieutenant General retired Rwanda there. There we go. Take those pictures. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, PS, Bola PS, for standing there, and AK President also standing there and giving us the opportunity to take those pictures with them. And as we wrap up and take our final seats, I will be calling on Julius Yego for the vote of thanks. The PS, of course, will be leaving. I do want to recap as they wrap up a few things that the PS said. One, that the AK, and indeed other federations, but AK and the corporates need, sponsors need to work together. It is absolutely vital. Listen, this is very simple. I think it's as easy as it comes. There is always success when it comes to athletics. Athletics Kenya has ensured that. What they're doing today is not just letting you know what the year ahead looks like, but they're extending a hand to ask you, can you be our partner? I think it's a no-brainer. The CS in their speech thinks it's a no-brainer. The PS thinks it's a no-brainer. Looking at the sponsors, potential sponsors here, and the success that you have had in your own businesses, and then you cooperate and put that together in the same basket with Athletics Kenya and the success that they've had over the years, then I think it is absolutely important. So once again, I will call on Julius Yego now to give us a vote of thanks before we end it.
Thank you, Larry. But I will try. So first, I want to say, of course, thank you to the ministry for the big support you've shown us, you've given us all the time when we need it. You've always been there for us. We say big thank you. Continue being supportive like that, even as we start our road to Tokyo. And I'm happy that I will be among those who are going to Tokyo. So I think as you have shown the qualification period, I achieved my qualification periods at the Olympics. So I'm already on that path going to Tokyo. I want also to thank, of course, the Federation for making everything easy for us. Because without them, and I want to say this, I'm not saying this to please anyone. Our Federation has really done a very good job. They have really supported us. They will receive a beating, that is a must, because when you are doing something good, people will talk. But when you are doing something bad, people will not bother talk about you. So Athletics Kenya will receive beatings because of the good work they have been doing. And I remember even this year, one of the worst championships I attended was the Senior Africa Championship in Cameroon. I think it was the worst organized event in Africa. And what we saw there, you know, our secondary school organization was better than that. The difference was just the stadium. You know, I remember even asking our president, Athletics Kenya, that why were we supposed even to come to that place because of the kind of organization which was there. Because we are used to having well-organized athletics competition in Kenya, courtesy of Athletics Kenya. So we should always, you know, criticize where you can criticize, but don't just criticize because you have an opportunity to be criticized. Again, applaud where they deserve. So credit to Athletics Kenya for the good job they are doing. Mr. Barnaba is here, who is one of the main organizers of many events here in Kenya, and he's really done so well. So we should always, you know, let's practice to appreciate good things. I want also, of course, to thank the sponsors for the good job they are doing, the support, financial support, the support in whichever way. Continue being with us, even as we start this journey. We ask you to continue supporting us, you know, support our federation, even in financial way, because it cannot run itself. It cannot organize events across the country. You saw the calendar of events that we have before we culminate at the trial for the World Championship in July. And there are many events. And if they can't get a sponsor, so their job will be difficult. Please, I also want to urge more corporates and sponsors, potential sponsors and corporates to join us for this support. I can even give you another easy way as a corporate where you can do it. You can even approach an athlete, a new start athlete, as a way of marketing your company or anything. It is part of the support to the athletes. It doesn't have to necessarily be directly to the federation, but if you can, let's say, field events, javelin, 100 meters, if you can use the face of that athlete, that already is a marketing tool for your company, and you will have a lot of recognition. Let's say if Omanyala succeeds in what he has succeeded in what he's doing, and your company is associated with it. So already your company is marketed, and everybody else will be, you know, willing to partner with you, even in terms of, you know, services you give and goods. Remember, if you remember that Orange, when Orange used to be, now it's Telkom, I think so. When they sponsored me between 2012 and 2013, you know, it caught a lot of, you know, marketing, because they were just using my my portrait, and everybody else liked it, and the business was really good. So those are some of the things you can do, and you can, continue being with that. I wanted to see when you saw the Wonder Diamond League. The Wonder is the sponsor of that Diamond League. I want to see a local corporate here sponsoring the AK meeting. So we can say we have Safaricom AK meeting, something like that. And our athletes will be gaining from your services. I want, of course, to thank everyone who have been supportive of us, the fans who are here, who are watching us, and wherever they are. We thank you for the big support you've been showing us. We see that on social media, and we say keep supporting us. Sometimes we might disappoint you in our competitions and results, but sometimes you need to accept it. The best won at that moment, and maybe that moment was not your person. So let's accept, because in athletics there is always a winner and a loser. The media, who have been really, supporting us, airing our competitions and all that. We say, tuko pamoja, we will always be with us. ADAC also, and AIU, who are part of us, we want to say thank you. And I want to make one request to ADAC. Sometimes we have an issue where we have an athlete who has not completed the 3 mandatory tests, and it comes back to us and we ask ourselves, where is the problem? Let's remove that thing, because if you miss to go to an Olympic because of that rule, Olympics is 4 years. And as an athlete, sometimes your best moment is that moment you missed it. And to wait another 4 years, you might, yes, you will be there, but you might not be in better form to compete and go and qualify for the Olympics. So please, liaise with all the agencies that are part of that group, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we lock out an athlete because of the rule. I want also to make a request to affiliate chairmen, that is police, the KDF, prison. Those are the major ones that now that we've launched our calendar of events, we're launching this so that our athletes can know when to compete and how to prepare for that competition. If we do not release those athletes to prepare for these competitions, and then it will be useless that the calendar has been released. I know, yes, you release your athletes, but sometimes you release them so late. Take, for example, somebody like Julia Shega, who does javelin. We do a lot of indoor training than in the outdoor training, because our event is more technical, and you need to master the technique. It's not just taking that javelin and going to the stadium and throw. It is a long process. Same thing with the sprinters. The reason why sometimes I think we don't do so well in field events and the sprints is because most of all those top athletes are employed in the service, the discipline service in our country, and they get very little time to go and train. If you release that athlete in January, be assured that that athlete will not make to compete at a major event. The release should be now, and that athlete will be able to prepare well and be ready for World Championship. You saw the number of athletes required per event. Very few to the coaches. And this one, you have to take it seriously. We need to coach our athletes on how to win clean. Not just to go and win. To win clean. And coach our athletes not to run away from AIU and ADAC, but to cooperate with ADAC and AIU. The reason why Kenya is in category A is because of just such issues, the number of positive tests we have in a certain year. So that is what makes us to be there. Let's coach our athletes to compete clean, train clean, and win clean. I've been in athletics maybe for the last 16 years. I've never run away to be tested because I know what is inside my body. There is nothing apart from my training. Let's really coach. You know, apart from coaching, develop the athlete, educate the athlete, enrich the athlete. And more importantly, coach your athletes on how to compete in a championship. Do not coach your athlete to go and run 10,000 on the road race or marathon and come back home. Instill some kind of, that motivation to compete in an Olympic or World Championship. Because competing in such events is tough. And that requires a tough athlete mentally, emotionally, and all that. If we don't coach our athletes to be like that, and then we will be beaten. Also, rest is important. It was said here. Can you coach your athlete on what to do before a major championship, on how to sleep, And if it is difficult, because human beings are different in all ways, you can be even with that athlete until that athlete takes a nap. Because sometimes what goes behind in the mind of an athlete, I think million things are going on in the mind of an athlete a night before a championship or a competition. So let's also learn how to teach them to coach them, instill that kind of knowledge and mentality. Because sometimes we have the best athletes, but mentality is what we lack. And of course, let's go. Scientific way of doing things is not saying go and eat some supplements and all that. No, it's not that. It is the mode of training you are applying in training. Sometimes when we say maybe people have gone scientific, people will think, okay, kuna watu wanakula hii, kuna watu wanakula hii. It's not about something you eat. It's how you train your athletes. With those very many remarks, I say thank you.
Thank you once again to Julius Yego. Two things. First and foremost, I think I'm one of the few people who owe you an apology. We wrote you off. Thank you very much. Finalists at the Olympics. I love to eat humble pie. As for the athletes and the coaches, how do you sleep? I'm moving too much on Alala, but I'm sure it's a bit more complicated than that. So thank you for bringing that to light and for standing up for the athletes and for encouraging the corporates. Before we wrap up, I will ask for Barnaba Korir to come through. He has one announcement, and then we will give the final.
Thank you, Chico. Mine is just an announcement. We have an opportunity today to have our own chairman from the regions, and at least Kenya is successful because of the structure that has already been put in place and start from the grassroots. We have the team. And the reason is that, at least Kenya, we are still under Rule 15, which is watch list, and that's what the president has been saying, category A, B, C. We are in A. Since we are in A, and we were almost being thrown out, of course, ADA was established in 2016 to make sure that they fight this problem of doping, and YouTube, the great javelin thrower from Kenya, has actually indicated. That's why we are fighting. And for us to succeed was the establishment of steering committee to run this program, which involves AIU, AK, and the ministry, and ADAC. And we have a team that has been working on that. Currently, we have a team of athletics Kenya officials or workers touring the country to register every single athlete, to register coaches and athlete support personnel, so that we have a database that will capture everybody who is dealing with athletics in this country. For us to have succeeded so far is to have somebody from AIU seconded to Kenya to work closely with ADAC and AK. And he has done a fantastic job. We are given only 5 years to make sure that we put everything in place before they go. And they are almost getting there. We are setting up structures now. We are working on having instruments of collecting data for all the information, and working very closely also with the registrar of sports, who was also here with us. And the team going around has done a fantastic job. We have more than 7,000 athletes registered already, and also coaches. So today, we have Raphael, and he is requesting now, because we have this opportunity which we normally don't have, and the key people running athletes in this country are here. That is now the chairman of every region and also institutions who are with us here. So we are requesting that when this is over after breakfast, we have to have a meeting together with Raphael so that we can now see how we can coordinate, work together very closely to fight this doping. Therefore, I would like to introduce Raphael so that he can greet you, so that you know who is here in Kenya. And I want to tell you, he is actually one of the strictest persons I've ever met so far, to make sure that everything is put in place to protect athletics in this country. So we have to give him every support necessary so that the systems that we put in place, when they leave, then it is working. And that's why Athletes Kenya has done a fantastic job to ensure everything that is required is there, and training of our teams, officials from the regions are in place, and ensure that the activities will not run aground when they leave this place. Karibu, welcome Raphael, just to greet, and then I still continue requesting, please, chairman from the regions, don't go until you meet this gentleman. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello everyone. So I think you did most of the introduction. Thank you, Vanava, for this surprise speech I have to take. So, I mean, everything has been said. I really thank Athletics Kenya for the cooperation. Everything has been put in place so we go into the right direction. And now we just need continuity. We need everybody to work together to fight this problem. And I'm sure in a few, okay, I'm going to say months, but years, I'm not saying we're going to solve it, but we'll be having done most of the job will have been done. That's all. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you once again to Raphael, Barnaba, to every single one of you. Absolutely, we have kept you, and for that I appreciate your patience. There are two things I want to say. First and foremost is the sponsors. I have a gentleman here named Stanley. He will stand here next to me. So everyone can see him from here. Sponsors, kindly, you will see him right outside. Kindly follow him. Once you step outside, kindly follow him. That's Stanley. All right? So that's the first one. Second one is good news. We're done, and breakfast is about to be served. There's a fulfillment. There's a feeling you get once you've been hungry all morning or however long, and you take that first bite. And at the end, when you're satisfied, it's an amazing feeling. That is a pebble compared to the feeling you will get when you finally join AK for the road to Tokyo. That's the first bite. The satisfaction is in Tokyo, when medal after medal after medal is coming in, and you know you were part of every single moment. Whether it was through a race, whether it was through an athlete, as Diego has pointed out, your sponsorship, your vote of belief by giving is what we're here to do. And we hope to be seeing your name on races, your name in partnership with AK, and your name when the flag is flying high and the lights are going and the cameras are flashing, because you're part of this journey, this road to Tokyo. Thank you very much for being a part of this, and we will be keeping you up to date with developments from races. As the president said, meeting for questions. The athletes are here. Chairman, you've heard, do not leave. Meet Barnaba. As for the sponsors, kindly follow Stanley and enjoy breakfast, mingle, have fun, and have a great week ahead. Thank you.
Kongoi.